my new friends. This is Kat. This is Melanie. And this is Jan. And Jan and Melanie, they're family. And all of these guys, they're super cool. These three guys here, they have a lot of experiences with practicing C5. And first I would like to ask them how our watchers can start practicing this C5 protocols. Maybe Kat will start
on the spot.
Yeah.
I would suggest for anybody who'd like to have experiences with extraterrestrials, or I would consider them the same. ET, ghosts, spirits, I think they may all be the same. We're different because we have a meat suit that we carry around, and I think it dulls our senses. But if you practice meditation on a regular basis, somehow it creates more pathways in the brain, and it helps open up that connection to the third eye, and you start noticing a lot more experiences. One of my first was in 2013, where I was healed from a 60% heart blockage, and I was supposed to go in a few days later and have some sort of a procedure done. And when they went in, just running the lead up, there was nothing there. And this was after a very intense meditation setup that I did for about 20 minutes. So I think it has something to do with opening up your heart and being vulnerable for a little bit to receive.
For people who never done that, they asking the question, did they supposed to be believers with this, or just to be skeptical when they start doing that?
I'd say it's okay to be skeptical, but have an open heart and an open mind, because if you come in with preconceived notions, you may block something from occurring. So just be open to having an experience of some sort. It may not be seeing little guys or a spaceship. It could be subtle messages. It's very interesting. If I know that you're friends with Ray Hernandez, he'll tell you there are many modalities of making contact with us, and ours is through consciousness, open hearts and minds.
What do you think? What is your thoughts about that?
I certainly agree with what she has to say. I also feel a really great way to engage in contact, obviously, it's intention. Meditation, I think, those come first. But then I also believe that inner work is a very large aspect of this. And that means going within and looking at unearthing, revealing, and healing all the parts of ourselves that we have given away, thrown away, all the things that we thought we didn't like about ourselves, and reclaiming them and seeing the gold that they are, reclaiming our gifts and our own sovereignty and power. And as we heal all these old wounds and hurts, we free up that energy to put towards those meditations and put towards that intention. And it also removes those blockages. A lot of times of they're programs that we're healing of things that we thought we knew or thought were us, and they weren't us. And nutrition actually kind of goes in line with that as well. That really helps support that inner work, because food has all sorts of effects on the body. And so when you combine a healthy, nutritious diet with this inner work, they really complement one another. And we've seen miraculous boosts of contact with that combination in particular. Now contact is so regular that, just like, oh, okay. I was literally in the shower a few days ago, and there's no vent in there. There's only the fan exhaust that can suck up. There's no other vent, and I had turned the air conditioning on in the house, and I'm in the shower and feeling a cold breeze on me as if there's a vent in the shower more than once. And so I'm like, okay, but the contact, again, the intention is important, and I really do believe that if your heart is open, and that is really the biggest thing, a healthy skepticism is fine, but don't, gaslight yourself and tell you, don't make up a reason it's not real, but that openness really is key, and they will interact with you. If you're wanting it, there's a great quote that what you want wants you.
Yeah. If people never meditated, what they can do? What exactly is a meditation? How people who never have experience with meditating, how usually you meditating? I mean, first time.
For me, sitting in a relaxed or laying down relaxed, just being relaxed is really a big first step. You need to be able to relax your body. And after that, again, it's just about opening the heart and being in a space of allowing an acceptance. And for me, with the thoughts, I hold my thoughts up in the corner and let them just run in and run out, and I'll just envision them going in and going out, so that way I create this open space. And I don't put anything there, but I just allow that space to be there, and then things will come as they need to. Many times things don't need to be shown to you for effects to take place.
Most of the time people, when they lay down, they taking nap.
Fall asleep. And I've definitely run into that, and I've done it myself, but in all honesty, if you fall asleep, I really believe your body needed that. Or it easily could also be you fell asleep because you're getting some type of energetic upgrade. I think there's several reasons, and I think it's okay. And the fact is, if anything at all, this is a great tool to help you learn to relax, because relaxation's at a real base, important aspect of all of this. When you're out in the field or when you're out doing contact work, you need to relax. So minimally, if you're falling asleep, I think you're still taking the step in the right direction.
Okay, let's turn to CE5. What is CE5 for you?
CE5 for me means being able to contact other beings, whether they be interdimensional, extraterrestrial, maybe inner Earth, just being open to all the possibilities that we as a species haven't been open to in modern times. That's not including the native peoples who have always been open to it. It's not weird for them. And I came onto CE5 about 3 years ago, and we've been practicing ever since I found out that, ETs are real. And then I found out, and you can contact them too? Well, let's try it. Apparently there's protocols out there, and gave it a shot. We got contact our first time. We've been getting contact ever since, and we continue to build those ET bonds.
Mm-hmm. What kind of way are you using for meditation?
What can we use for
like you're listening music, or you're saying some mantras? How are you going to meditate?
You can. Mantras, a word, will help you focus your intentions, center your thoughts, and clear everything out. For myself, and maybe some of the Christians in your audience will appreciate this, I like using some verses from the Bible. Prayer and meditation are very similar. So when I remember verses like pray with your whole heart, pray as if it was already given, for me, if I'm meditating and I'm feeling gratitude with my heart for something that I want, and as if it's already happened, visualizing ships coming into view, or visualizing yourself or someone you love being healthy, that you're creating a miracle, that's creating a portal through your consciousness by doing that.
For how long are you practicing C5?
How many years, or
in
a session?
How many years?
Since about 2013, and it was after my healing experience. Yeah, it was the same year, as a matter of fact, that things started to change.
have you had the not physical, but I mean to during this meditation or C5 to see materialization of the craft of your book?
Yeah, in 2017, I had been meditating in the backyard, and in a deep state, I was actually giving thanks for a beautiful planet, for all the diversity of life here, the plants, the animals. And in my mind, I'm walking through fields and touching the tops of grain, and then I would flash to the ocean and seeing whales jumping, and I was thinking to myself, how nice if we could share that with visitors from other worlds, if it was open to them to be preserved, not raped for all of the resources that are here, but to come and share it with us. And about the time I finished that thought, I got a nudge to open my eyes, and I see this flash to my left, really quick, and then all of a sudden this huge thing starts materializing, lighting up from the bottom in the shape of a big teardrop. And of course I'm in awe at what I'm seeing, but then as fast as it appeared, it took off to the east, leaving a little light trail behind it. It's kind of a golden color teardrop shape. And I thought, oh, maybe that's a hallucination from going deep into meditation. And I knew if I talked to my husband about it, as soon as I did, he rolled his eyes like, okay. A month and a half later, the same thing happened again, while giving gratitude for having this planet, wanting to share it. So I'm wondering if it was like an invitation, in a way, saying thank you, come on down and share with us, and boom, here they are again. But this isn't a city, so maybe they couldn't stick around, and it makes me wonder, am I the only one that saw that? How could anybody miss something that big? And I could never find anything in the newspapers about it at all. Maybe it's consciousness only, I don't know.
So the contact for you guys, it looks like it's only fifth kind, or you had also third kind, maybe?
Well, most of it is from a distance.
Yeah, I mean, most of it would be from a distance, but there have been times where we have seen physical beings in our own home, I would say, because we invited them, and we were actually on a call with her brother, and we were on speakerphone, we were just chatting it up, and it was just us in the whole house. We were on the lower story, and then we actually heard creaking of footsteps on the upper story. We're the only ones home, and it was creak, 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 creak.
To the stairwell right in front of us. Like,
so we're like, hey bro, we got some company, we gotta go. So we hang up, we're like, okay, this is interesting. And we actually had heard those footsteps twice. The first time I just kind of dismissed it, but then we heard it a second time, I'm like, we can't dismiss this. So we go and we get into a meditative state, and we're facing we face the stairs, and
we saw what you're coming to before that.
Well, why don't you tell your side of that? I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, I mean, it is the same thing. It's just the sequence of events. So in terms of, he was talking on the phone. I was sitting there, forget what I was doing. I had sensed a really tall being, at least to the roof. And then I sensed another being that was up in the stairwell in the dark. Very playful, very small.
So when we're talking about context, have you learned something during this context when you're meeting with this ETs, or?
Do you mean like lessons, morals, or just like?
Yeah, lessons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they teach you something? And what if they teach you? What they teach you?
I've had many downloads. Like there was even one time it was like this gold lettering literally coming like into my brain. Still don't know what it was because I don't recognize the language, but the core lessons and the core things that just kind of keep coming back with all these benevolent groups really is do your inner work. It's a repeating thing of, because this is just what really helps to elevate your frequency, and it makes it so much easier for contact. And the more you do, and the more personal responsibility you take for your thoughts, your actions, your words, the more you can comprehend them, and the easier, and it just keeps getting easier. They've had telepathy training with me for weeks. One group was like, go to Mount Shasta, go to Mount Shasta, go to Mount Shasta. And I'm like, all right, we got to go to Mount Shasta. So we go there, and the entire time, even the drive there, the telepathy training was really, I already have like kind of a basic telepathy, but it was just getting stronger, and the focus was really on how to quiet your mind. And so they would literally out of nowhere be like, hold your thoughts. And I would have to like instantly hold my thoughts. And it was just started with a few seconds, and it would get longer and longer. But as you do that inner work, a big reason I feel that they are really into that is that opens up the door to oneness and compassion. I mean, because once you start doing this, you just start seeing how everyone else is dealing with this, and you can start to recognize other people's pain. So instead of reacting, you can look at them with compassion and go, I see the exact pain you're in right now. It's really beautiful. This is a really benevolent, loving practice.
Well, we're antennas, and they're helping us learn how to clean our antenna and how to polish it. And the main ones are what you put into your body, which becomes your body, what you put into your mind, which becomes your being. And so I get caught up when there's like so the goal is to clean the antenna, and the way we do that is through the nutrition and through meditation. And our brain is kind of like a CPU. So I'm going to go a little bit of a geek speak here. So the CPU is the brain of a computer, and the computers only have so many programs they can run before they can bog down and really start to slow down. And so meditation and inner work are like defragging, where you find all the different pieces that are fragmented apart, and you're consolidating, and you're finding all the files that don't need to run anymore or aren't running and are taking up space, and you're recycling them, and you're clearing your antenna to be a much better source for contact. And I mean, and it makes your life better too, not just from contact.
And then the people around you, and it's just this beautiful ripple effect.
Yeah, perfect.
You start with yourself. You're the rock.
Yep.
I have impression that both of you are vegetarian or not?
You are right.
Yeah.
Okay, does that help more to open your conscious and make these contacts easier, or what do you think? The people who eat meat and the people who is vegetarians.
At this time, my view is if you need to eat meat or animal products, eat only what you need. Not that not excessive amounts, minimally, because some people believe they really need it, and we're not here to tell anybody to do something that they may feel might be unhealthy for them. But for us, energetically, we've seen a very large difference in becoming vegetarian. For us, our personal belief is, how can we say we love the animals, we love the earth, and here we promote and pay money and support programs that torture the animals and give them really horrific endings that are just really awful. And it's also physically so much better, like natural weight loss. You just naturally lose weight. We used to have horrifically greasy hair, literally having to take a shower every day, and then suddenly when we're not eating meat anymore, suddenly our hair isn't super greasy, more energy. Anything else for you on?
Well, I would say, like, if you're going to eat the meat, then do so consciously and give thanks to the animal.
That's exactly what I meant to get to.
Yeah. So clear that energy out, because you're going to be putting that energy into your body and making it yourself. So might as well fill it with something positive.
Bless the fruit and the animals.
Okay, we're going to turn now to different points. We're going to talk a little bit about remote viewing.
What do you want me to say about remote viewing?
You could teach a class on that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that a lot of women are naturally intuitive, and learning remote viewing, you don't have to be psychic. You just need to quiet the logical side of your brain that's always trying to find an answer and shift to the right side of your brain that's creative and intuitive. And the classes that were taught by this SRI, Stanford Research Institute, they made you take notes, your name and the date and a secret little number, which used to relate to coordinates on a map. Then it changed to just regular numbers. Mm-hmm. So you're busy filling out all these forms. Well, your left brain's doing this, your right brain's out exploring. You don't know what it is you're looking for, but somehow you connect to it. And in remote viewing, we never say what we think it is. We just describe, what does it look like? What does it feel like? How heavy is it? Does it have a smell? Can you taste it? That's what remote viewing is about, is just describing. And if you're doing it on a professional level, then they have multiple people doing the same project, and then they can take all those notes, put them together, and see a bigger picture. That's what the handlers are for. Now, for myself, I wasn't professionally trained. I watched videos, and apparently it stuck quite well. And I was in high school near where SRI was located, and I found out about that program back in, I guess, 72, and I wanted so badly to go because I thought I could get something or contribute something with them. So it's something that I've been wanting to follow and be involved with my whole life. And what I would say to anybody that's interested, you can do this. You don't have to be special in any way. You can look up the videos, read the books that are out there by Russell Targ, Ingo Swann, Hal Puthoff, and so many others that have come since then so far. It's there, it's easy. You don't have to pay a ton of money to do it. You can learn, you can practice. There are even places on the internet where you can get the numbers and write it down, start describing what you think you see, feel, smell, using all the senses that you do in your normal everyday life. Just write them all down. What do you perceive? And then when you open up the file, you'll realize how close you were. So always practice and end on a good note. Mark the things that you got right and throw away the ones you didn't. Go on to the next. And by that, you're creating new pathways in your brain. You're training your brain to pick up on these things. Mm-hmm. And you'd be surprised, you can practice with friends.
Yeah. So looks like remote viewing is not for chosen people. Everybody can do that.
Sure.
I mean, not only remote viewing, meditation, contacting with extraterrestrials or interdimensionals, whatever. I heard that in the ancient people, the ancient times, they already knew how to remote viewing. And at that time, they don't have cell phones, internet,
right,
but they communicating very well with each other. And maybe they had knowledge, knowledge like even to maybe levitating or performing some stuff we call today in these days supernatural.
Right.
But because of all these technologies and modern era, we're getting all this
I think
skills we have.
Right, but if you go back in history, I do believe that we did have these skills, but the churches started telling us you should not practice that, that's witchcraft, that's bad. You're bringing in demons. So they demonized it, and through the church, because everybody went to church all the time, we're told what to do. The Bible wasn't written for the everyday man back then. It was taught in Latin by only those people that were instructed, that knew how to read and teach, which also meant they could put their views in whenever they wanted. So it became a control structure. Now that that part of religion is falling away and people are seeing that you can use this for good, there's a lot more interest, and we're realizing that it is normal. It's not paranormal, it's normal.
I like the way you put that particular part of religion is falling away, which gives space, which gives space for the beautiful parts of religion, which there are many, to flourish like with the compassion and the, kindness to each other and the golden rule and all that stuff. I look forward to all that.
All right, we are almost the end of this conversation with you guys. Can you share some thoughts for Bulgarian, not only for Bulgarians, but for everybody who is watching this and maybe would like to start meditating or start learning for this remote viewing? Your thoughts? Final words?
Don't be afraid. Make sure that if you're trying to do CE5, let go of any fear of something showing up in your world. It's not necessarily bad, so don't put that stigma on first. Oh, and she could tell you stories where they've come down sharing. Remember the offering plate?
Oh, the food.
Yeah, tell about the food.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wow.
the fourth kind, is when you have evidence.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I took a picture of that. Yeah, no, there's all sorts of very. There was just a night we had invited a group into our home, and we had just made a rice dish. I was really looking forward to it. My plate was very full, and I put it down, and I'm like, "Hey, if you want some, here, have some," And I go and I get a fork, and I come back, and about a huge chunk, like almost a fourth of my plate, was gone. And I'm like, "Did you eat my food?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "I hope they like it." And so I took a picture because I couldn't believe it. It just seconds to go get a fork and come back. And I'm like, "Well, if you want more," we made up their own plate even. But I think they were good with the sample they had of my food. But
Maybe they didn't like it.
I bet they did. It was delicious. Honestly, I love cultural anthropology, and I almost got a degree in cultural anthropology. If I were one of these beings, I would love to sample food. I honestly provide cake and cupcakes or whatever I've cooked. I'm like, if they come and visit, I prepare as if friends are coming. And what would I want to serve my friends? We'll leave out chairs. We'll have foods and to sample or water, and just prepare. For us, we prepare a welcoming environment. If you were visiting somewhere you haven't been before, would you want to go among the people who are scared and just like, or, would you want to be among the people who are open and welcoming and are willing to push past any fears they may originally have? I know with us, with fear, if we felt it, we're like, well, can you help me with that? We're willing to work past that, and they will help you, but you have to ask and again take that responsibility. And if you do feel fear, again, that inner work is really big for us. That was actually the biggest thing that helped us move past fear. So I think that's a natural response to something unknown. But as we did that work, we were able to peel away all these programs, from movies, from television, from the government, from our parents, from whoever put their fear onto us, who projected that fear. And so we can take that off. And with these experiences, as positive and friendly and cheerful as they've been, I get deliriously happy when certain groups come around. I will start laughing. I can't stop laughing. I'm telling the worst jokes ever, and they're hilarious. And those are my favorite nights. And as you have these experiences, you start to build up that confidence and it allows those programs to fall away. It's like, no, that's not true. Your experience will contradict what you've been told. But again, that intention to interact with positive polarity beings and being specific with that
Yes.
are really key elements, making sure with telepathy, everybody can hear it. So you want to make sure that they know who's calling. Oh, I'm calling. Positive polarity beings only, please. And then that way, it's just very clear. So.
Yeah, and as a final note for those who are looking to do CE5, I would highly recommend come on over to our channel on E2 Connections on YouTube, because we do a monthly live CE5. Everyone's invited. It's totally free. and it's broadcast all around the world. If you have internet connection, you can check it out. And oftentimes we'll talk about protocols, we'll talk about our past experiences.
And I will often discuss, it's actually every time, inner work.
Yep.
So if you log on and you can ask questions, we answer all of them.
Right.
And if there's an issue you're having, we can walk you through them. We can, all sorts of things. So it's a great place to just get started, and it's all a gift from our heart to yours.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to have you with us here for Disclosure Bulgaria, and I'm really very happy to meet you and to talk with you, and I hope we can see again each other more of one time.
I count on it.
I might want to suggest that if anybody wants to join a group or learn about this and how to conduct it, I would encourage you to log on to the internet and look up etletstalk.com. You can join for free. We have over 10,000, I think it might even be over 20,000 members now, in over 173 countries around the world, which is probably in your neck of the woods too. So please look at it, it's free. And another place for information is etcontacthub.com. Lots of information there on both sites.
Thank you very much again. Thank you.
I was waving bye.